So I was sitting here getting ready for this live, and I realized that my silicone mat that I'm going to be using, it still has glue all over it, all dried up. So let me show you how I'm cleaning this real quick. It is so simple. Okay, so can you see the glue? I've been rubbing it. So this is all you do to clean up dried glue off the silicone mat. It's why it's so great to be a base when you're adding liquid glue or anything really, tear and tape, or one of the older tape runners or Stampin' Seal. Any of that is great with this as your base, because if you get adhesive on it, you can just rub it off and then it's ready to use. I have a microfiber cloth here to finish up getting any little bits off. Paper towel works too. I just really like the microfiber. Anyway, so that's it. Easy breezy, and now it's ready to use for this card. But before we start creating, I wanted to tell you, I think I forgot last week to talk to you about the kit class. So I had my first kit class on Zoom, and it's not really a class. I mean, I'm there to help and ask and answer questions. It's more of a craft and chat, and it's for all levels of stampers or non-stampers. You don't even have to stamp to make some of these kits, which is great. But I wanted to show you the cards that I made. So it comes in this cute little box, which, by the way, these are great for mailing. So I reuse all my boxes. Some I just store things in, and some I turn inside out, some I decorate. You just never know. Okay, so I made these cards, getting ready for Christmas already. And then I made these cards. Aren't those cute? I love little elves decorating everything. And of course they come with coordinating envelopes, and these are all gold trimmed. So that was fun. And I mean, it's a 2-hour craft and chat. I should have had more things made during that time, but I spent a lot of time chatting. So if you want to get together on Zoom, of course, I can schedule a class for you and your friends or family members, but I am having another kit class October 30th. I'm looking at my calendar as I speak. So I'm going to do another kit class on Zoom October 30th. Let's call it a craft and chat event, not really a class. So the last day to order for that is October 20th, and you need to use host code XT6KHPRZ, which I will put in the description whenever I post this video. Okay, so let's move on to this card that we're creating today. If you've been paying attention, I don't know if you've been seeing my post this week on my blog or Facebook or YouTube or anything, but I've been using this gorgeous paper. This is gold and rose gold metallic specialty paper, and I am loving it. It comes in 6x6 sheets. I have no idea how it escaped my attention before this week, but it did. And now I'm obsessed with it. So I've been creating with it all week long. And for this video, I want to create with it again. So I have this, I'm starting with this Evening Evergreen card base. I'm just going to go ahead and first I'm going to put on my glasses so I can see what I'm doing. And then I'm going to crease this really nicely with my bone folder. Okay, and then I have a Simply Succulent layer. Did you notice whenever I was posting that I was about to go live that I used Succulents in the graphics? That's because I'm using the Simply Succulents stamps and dies. So to get adhesive all over the back of this, I'm going to use my liquid glue, and I'm just going to put a puddle of it in the corner here. And I'm going to use a sponge dauber. These things are so handy. So I used to use sponges. I would cut up a sponge and hold it with like a bonder clip to do this, but it would soak up so much of the adhesive. So much of this liquid glue would just get soaked up that it just kind of got frustrating and messy, and then it would get dried out and I'd have to get a new piece. So I just started doing it like this, and then wouldn't you know, I was watching a YouTube video a few days later and I saw another demonstrator doing the same thing. I thought that was funny. But that just means we've hit on a great idea. And I don't know why we didn't think of it sooner. So you can tap it. You can kind of brush it on, but this is so intricate that I'd be afraid to brush it on too much. So I'm just tapping it on there and trying to keep my piece pretty still so that I don't end up with glue all over the front of it. I'm going to add a little bit more. Hey, Deanna. I was just thinking about you earlier today. I'm gonna send you a message after this. Okay, so then I'm gonna turn this around and apply it to this lighter green. Just make sure everything is poked down. This is a really fast card once you get this part cut out. So I wanted to just show you, I did use this die cut yesterday. This is part of the potted succulents dies. So I used this to cut out this rose gold and ended up with this sheet. So that's how I got that. And it's not a difficult thing to do, but it is time consuming because each of these little holes has to be poked out. So it takes a little bit of time. Okay, so now I'm going to grab a glue dot. I'm going to put one on each end of this Evening Evergreen ribbon. This has kind of like a chevron stitch in it. And I'm just going to wrap this around the front of this. So then I'm putting the glue dot on the back. Okay. Then I'm going to grab my Stampin' Dimensionals. You guys know that I love these things. They help to make whatever you're placing on here just pop up a little bit and give it a little bit of dimension. Just gonna take the backs off. Then I'm going to stick this to the front of the card. I'm not putting it down just quite yet because I want to make sure I've got it centered up pretty good. I'm not getting it quite high enough. There we go. Okay, so now we're going to take this You Make the Ordinary Extraordinary stamp. I'm just going to stamp on a scrap piece of basic white cardstock. I know I've got one over here somewhere. They've all been stamped on. Imagine that. Okay, so here's a small piece. Small-ish piece. So I'm going to use the coordinating Evening Evergreen ink, and that's one of the things that I love about Stampin' Up! Is everything coordinates. Makes it so, so easy. There we go. So if you're new to stamping, notice I didn't rock the stamp at all. I just put even pressure down on the whole thing to make sure I had a good image. I'm going to use my mini Stampin' Cut and Emboss machine, so I need to cut this so that it'll go through it. This is my mini little machine that I keep on my desk. It's so handy. So I'm going to put the number 1 plate down, one of the number 2 plates down, then my paper, and then my die over it. Then I'm going to finish my sandwich by putting the second number 2 plate on. Gonna run this through, bring it back. And then we've got this great die cut, and we're almost finished. So I'm going to get those Stampin' Dimensionals again and just attach this over the ribbon. And then the front of our card is complete. But for the inside, I'm going to add another piece of this basic white cardstock. And these are just some leftover strips from when I used the die cut on that really intricate die on the front cover, front of the card. So I thought I would just use these and put one here towards the bottom. And one towards the top. Make sure it's lined up on the edge. I'm going to take my paper snips and just snip off this extra off the side. And then I'll use my liquid glue again to attach this to the inside of the card. And we have a quick and easy, gorgeous card. This specialty paper makes everything so pretty and shiny and special. And that's all that I have for today. This was another short and sweet Thursday live video. Let me know if you have any questions or if there's anything that I can help you with. I do post videos on YouTube on Fridays and Tuesdays also. Those are not live, but I hope to see you back here live on next Thursday. Happy stamping!